running tape now. Now tell me about this here. You own this land in behind here?
Yes.
By the way, what is your name?
Todd Baker.
Todd Baker. You have a construction company, right?
Yep, I moved here to start a construction company.
Yeah. Now, what's this sign here? What does that say? I mean, we can get it outdoors, but I just want to.
That's just a target.
Oh, it's just
It's
a target.
piece of vinyl siding with the
Okay.
magic marker on it.
Okay. And we'll see. How about sifting them in front of me
Okay.
so I don't have to miss the shots? Okay. Tell me about that picture.
Okay, this is between the sheds of my place and my house is back here on the right.
Okay.
This is generally where I set the sawhorses up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because you're doing some
practice
remodeling
there. Yes,
of your house here. Okay.
complete remodeling.
This used to be the John Matheny
Yes.
house.
John and Betty Matheny.
I mean, it looks like you're doing a lot of remodeling.
Total remodel.
Okay.
Here is to the right of the sheds that you can see,
Mm-hmm.
because Mr. Wynn had said that I was shooting in the air and in the pond.
Yeah.
And this is the back side of the building here on the left. You can see that the pond is behind the buildings. There's
Right.
no way to shoot into it from where I'm at.
Uh-huh.
So that was a lie in itself. And here's the actual pond, which is so low, this is walking up to it. There's no way I could be shooting into the pond from
Right.
next to my barns or house.
Now, what does he say you were doing?
He says in the affidavit,
And this is the affidavit right here.
the
This
warrant
is
for
the charge.
arrest. Yep.
Okay. Read it for me.
Here
would
it
you?
is. He said, okay, on the 8th of September 2008 at 1640, I received a tape oral statement from John Wynn and
Now,
Terry
wait,
Wynn.
excuse me. Who is this? This is Brad Totten, right?
Yes, Sergeant Todd.
Okay. And this is just last month, right?
No, this is last week.
Last week. Okay, last week. All right.
So, John and Terry Wynn in reference to an incident and shooting with 500 feet of a dwelling. Mr. Wynn advised that on the 4th of September '08, in the afternoon hours leading to the early evening hours, they were there at their residence on Wesley Chapel Road near Greenbank in Pocahontas County. While there, they observed Todd Baker, the above-named defendant, and James Elliott to be firing weapons outside a residence that is located next to where Mr. and Mrs. Wynn were staying. Mr. Wynn advised that Todd Baker was shooting pistols and James Elliott was shooting a rifle. They were shooting at targets in the woods, shooting in the air, and in a pond. Mr. Wynn advised that it was not just a couple of times, but probably in excess of 100 to 200 rounds fired. Mr. Wynn finally went over and asked them to stop shooting, and they advised that they would for a while. Mrs. Wynn confirmed what Mr. Wynn had stated.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same place where I've been shooting, where my neighbor, Mr. John Wynn, has come over on repeated occasions and shot here with me.
So he's actually done this in the past
Yes.
with you. You're retired military, right?
Retired Marine.
Is he military?
He was National Guard, Reserve. for a
National
while.
Guard. Can he shoot?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not as well as I can.
All right. So he had actually done this before. You have any idea why he got ticked about that particular time and filed this complaint?
Well, he
himself had been involved in it?
Well, he must have found out talking to the Sheriff Walton the night before. He told me he was over there talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Totten told me that he'd been there, and so another I won't say his name, another department person.
Right.
And he had been told that he was going to issue warrants. Yeah, I guess I don't know what warrants are against who he said he was going to give it to.
Now, this was Totten, right?
This was
Or
Walton.
Wynn? Walton. Oh,
This
okay.
was Walton talking
So
to
Dave
Wynn.
Walton was involved in this?
Yeah, Wynn was in Walton's office all
Oh,
that
okay.
afternoon. So
Did they ever come up here and investigate themselves
for which one?
for whatever this complaint is? What was the date of this complaint?
On the 8th.
Okay, last week. Did they come up here?
They came up here with a a warrant for Mr. Wynn for 4 counts of assault.
No, wait a minute. For Mr. Wynn, he's the one that's supposed to made the complaint.
He did.
So they brought a warrant up here for him.
Yes.
What had he done?
Well, a month and a half ago, with the dispute with the neighbor of mine on my property, he pulled a gun out, held a gun to my head, and went after my other neighbor, that I told to get into the house and call 911. I backed him up between him and my house and told him repeatedly, John, put the gun away, and get off my property. He wouldn't do it. Mitch, my other neighbor was in the house trying to get on the phone to 911, and At that time, his wife, John Wynn's wife, had also come over and was in the house trying to call 911. So they were both in the house. I'm standing at my front door with a gun to my head, and John told me to
Now, were
get
they
out of the
calling
way.
from a phone inside your house?
Yes, sir.
You gave them permission to call?
I gave the one neighbor permission to use my phone to call 911. My brother was out here with another witness watching all this happen, and when John Wynn's wife came over and asked, "Can I use the phone?" my brother Joe had told her, "Yeah, you can use the phone." So they were both inside here.
Okay. So why were they calling 911?
To get the sheriff's office. Mr.
Okay.
Wynn was holding a gun to my head and pointing it repeatedly at my brother
Now, this
Joe,
was Mrs. Wynn calling?
Mrs. Wynn.
His wife was calling the sheriff's office to...
Same time.
They'll have a tape of this, right?
911.
Now, 911 will have a tape of this.
911 put her on hold, said they'd call back in a little bit. They
Wait a
called
minute now.
back.
911 puts them on hold.
They called back.
I mean, in a hostage situation where you've got a gun to your head, that his wife is put on hold.
Yes, that's what Mrs. Wynn told me. And we were all out in the yard
Okay.
trying to get my other neighbor out of here. And when the other neighbor finally got into his truck, John was still holding a gun on him saying, "Don't get in there, you son of a bitch, I'm going to shoot you." And he got into his vehicle,
Yeah.
and got away. And that's when 911 called back and said, "What's the problem?" And she told her the problem.
Wonder how long that was.
A couple of minutes, I would imagine.
So it wasn't very long they were on hold. Did they ever explain why they were on hold?
No.
And what time of day was this?
This was probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So the sheriff's office comes up here with a warrant with 4 charges on it, right?
This was Monday.
For
yes.
Mr. Wynn.
Yeah, after I had to call repeatedly, even to the governor's office, I had to email to ask if anything was ever going to get done with this.
Now, from the time that he held a gun to your head, how long did it take the sheriff's office to get up here to investigate? From the time you filed charges. You didn't file charges,
I never
right?
filed charges. I was understood after.
Well, who filed the charges in this hostage situation?
Well, the state was supposed to go after that. That was how me and my brother understood it.
Okay.
So we said, "Oh, okay." They never asked us if we wanted to file charges. We just kind of let it go and handle itself.
So you all weren't actively prosecuting this?
No, not at all.
So now I want to back up just long enough to get it. I'm deliberately not getting your face in this, not because to hide you or anything, but that's not what we're after. I'm after
Right.
the story,
Right.
and I want people to see the story. Okay. I'm going to try to back up just a tad and see if we can get this clear.
Sure.
You want to get a chair?
Yeah.